welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the Monday edition of Creations from the Table. I am Cindy, and I'm here today to just talk about some everyday things that those of us with disabilities might go through, and those of us with just daily struggles, no matter what those might be, and just to share some relatability aspects of our lives. And I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and join the family here. I upload twice a week. I try to focus on Mondays with having more discussion time about things that we might be struggling with and some tips and tricks. And on Wednesdays, more for the ability part of disability, the DIY projects and things like that. So I hope that you will consider joining the family for that. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and help me to grow this community by showing that you like this kind of content. And so let's just get right into talking about things today. And I have Winnie here with me because, as I mentioned before, she does like to get in on my videos sometimes. So I got my hot drink here. I hope you have one, and let's just get into talking about some things that we might have some difficulty with. So I guess the first thing that I would like to really talk about is the fact that when I started this YouTube channel, I have mentioned this before, that I want it to be a community where we can share and learn from each other. And I really want to highlight the ability part of disability and help others to understand that they can do some of the things that they have a heart's desire to do, and they just have to find a little bit different way to do it. And so I want to encourage those who might be feeling fear about maybe starting your own YouTube channel or starting some other endeavor that it might be difficult or too hard to master because of a disability, or simply because of just lack of confidence. And I really felt a lot of that when I started my YouTube channel. I thought, how in the world am I going to do this? Because I didn't have like all of the assistance that other people might have. You know, a lot of times people have like a team of people helping them with their YouTube and things like that, and a lot of people don't too. You know, they just do it on their own. But when a visual disability comes into play, and there's so much visual about YouTube, I was really intimidated to think that, how in the world am I going to do this? And because I do have 10% vision, I do find ways to angle the camera so that I can see where I'm pointing, and whether or not certain things are in the shot. I can't always tell, and I do have to bring in somebody else to look at that and help me set that up. But I try to do as much of it by myself as I can, because I don't want to present the fact that you have to have all kinds of help. You know, when you're starting to do something on your own, you might need some help to get started, and that's totally fine. But I also want to encourage people to do as much of it by themselves as they can possibly do, without it causing a lot of stress and anxiety. And because we don't need to add any more of that to our lives either, because there's usually enough of that going on just with an everyday struggle with a disability, or just just daily struggles. We definitely do not need to add to our stress and anxiety. So that being said, like for this video here, I did set this up on my own, so I'm hoping that it's as fairly centered as it can be for me. And as I say on my channel all the time, I'm not striving for perfection, because if people are looking for perfection, they're definitely not going to find it here. But I just try to go through day-to-day life doing as much on my own as I possibly can. And there are times where I need to back off and ask for help with certain things, so that it does not cause me as much stress. There are often times that I should be asking, but I'm kind of bullheaded and stubborn that way, where it's like, no, I can do it myself. And so as I get older, I'm coming to the realization that it's okay to ask for help, even if it's not totally necessary, but just to ease up on some of the anxiety and stress. We have become such a I dare say DIY society, that it's, you know, do everything yourself, and where we want to do as much as we can by ourselves, we also don't need to add all the extra stress and strain. And also learning to not feel like I have to be involved in everything to feel like I'm making a difference, or to feel like I'm a contributing member of society, or even just an event, you know, that sometimes we're just not feeling it, you know, for that day to really want to be involved with stuff. And sometimes we just have that extra, you know, that extra special day, as it were, that we just want to, you know, be on the down low, just lay low and recollect ourselves, or whatever the case may be. So this is definitely a journey for me to learn what I am able to do, and what I need help with the YouTube journey and whatnot. But my heart's desire, and what I feel God's calling on my life, is to be a writer. And where I do that with my blog, and I will link that in the description box, I write devotional style writing, and that is what I truly feel is my calling. I feel like God has called me to do that in order to help people more. But this is also something that I feel, because we are in such a video-driven society right now, that I want this to be another resource for, because not everybody's, you know, a big reader, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to be an avid reader and all this and that. There's other avenues which I'm trying to explore, you know, with doing stuff here on YouTube, and just wanting to be as much of an encouragement and a resource as I can. It's something that I've actually felt. Do you remember back in high school? I don't know if they still do this or not, to be honest, but they would have assemblies, and there would always be that person that would come in that would, maybe it was somebody who went through like the whole teen drinking and driving and lost a dear friend because of it. So now they're going around and speaking about the dangers of doing that. And, you know, just these pep rallies. I mean, not really a pep rally, but, you know, that kind of positive encouragement, and really just wanting to bring awareness for a lot of stuff. I mean, I saw myself doing that back in high school, and that was, oh good grief, dare I even say the number, you know, over 29 years ago. I graduated 29 years ago. So, you know, 31 years ago, when I was really like being a part of all of these, I can't want to call them seminars, assemblies. I could see myself doing that, you know, and trying to be an encouragement for those kids who were just coming up with disabilities, and trying to do things in a different way. Because when I was in school, it wasn't that commonplace for somebody with blindness to go to mainstream school. They typically wanted to have you starting in, you know, going to a school for the blind and things like that. And my parents did not want me to do that as of then, because I still had enough vision to maintain going to a regular school. I could still read large print at that time. So that's what we did. We stayed with mainstream school. But I just saw myself wanting to do that, just wanting to be an encouragement. I don't want to let my disability dictate what I decide to do and what I don't decide to do. Now again, there's going to be days where I'm just not feeling it, you know. I need space, and I need time, and I need some decompression time, and we all need that, whether we have a disability or we don't, you know. But I think sometimes it's hard to admit that we need to take that time, because somehow, at least for me, it always felt like I was admitting some sort of defeat with the disability, that the disability got the better of me, you know, kind of thing. And again, as I've gotten older, I've learned that is not the case, that I'm actually being stronger when I can admit that I need a day to just regroup and refocus. And then I can give more. I can give back more when I take that time. So that's something that I'm still to this day learning how to do, and how to, you know, make sure that I'm taking that time. And that's also a good time for me to just start processing about the next steps I want to take, whether that be that week's blog entry. And Winnie has decided that she's going to be done with the video. whether it's that week's blog entry or whether it's ideas for more YouTube videos or just ways that I can give back in a bigger circle. I try to be as encouraging as I can be. I offer to pray for people often, and just any ways that I can be an encouragement. And I think that I feel like that's something that we all need to do. We all need to somehow make ourselves be encouraging for someone around us. And we don't want to, I don't really know how to word this, but it's wonderful that people think that those of us with disabilities are inspiration, that you're such an inspiration, and that's great, that's fine. We want to be an encouragement to people, but not to be that on display kind of an inspiration. I hope that makes sense, like an object lesson, if you will, or something like that. It's very important that those of us with disabilities do not feel singled out because of the disability, to be inspirational and encouraging just by a personality, trait or something like that. And an encouragement in such a way that says, even though we all have some trial or struggle to overcome, all you have to do is make up your mind to overcome it, and then you can start moving forward, in that way. So I hope that makes sense. That's the way it is for me. I can only speak on my, speak into what I feel and what I know from my disability. In high school, I couldn't do a lot of things. I never took driver's training, so I wasn't a part of that whole thing. I never did drive. I never was part of that whole, group of my friends that was taking driver's training and starting to look at cars to pick out and, things like that, and driving to school. That just, I wasn't a part of that, and that was a little bit difficult, but there were other things that, I just did other things, and we went places together, and they were fine being the one who was driving. And but I didn't play sports of any kind in high school. I mean, I would have played maybe volleyball or softball or something like that, but that wasn't a possibility. And there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't do in gym class, which I know a lot of kids now would be like, it's fine with me, but it was always the one who had to, kind of sit out on the sideline. And or if I was playing, dodgeball and kickball, I mean, I don't think they do that stuff now, but I was usually the last person picked because I wasn't exactly the greatest asset on the team. But those experiences helped me to form the thought process that I have now to try to be all inclusive with people as much as I possibly can. And I think it's very important that we involve people in as many projects as we can. I try to, with my ministries at church and whatnot, to just incorporate as many people as I can. I would love to have a ministry that was completely made up of people who had a disability, so that it could be outreaching in that way. And so this video here was mostly to encourage you to not let the struggles that you have define what you do and what you don't do, because you're only limited by how much you limit yourself in doing. Now, obviously there are things like I said, I don't drive, so that's beyond my control. But outside of those major things that are the obvious, if you will, you're only limited by what you decide to limit yourself with. I think that if we expected for people to just hand us everything without having too much struggle to get it. I mean, there were times that I've often thought, like, man, if somebody could just open this door for me, or just give this to me somehow, it would be so much easier. But I also think that it wouldn't be as much of an accomplishment for myself. I wouldn't see it as much of a self-accomplishment if somebody just handed it to me and I didn't do much to work for it, because when you look back at something, you can say that, you did your best to obtain what it was that you wanted to do. And for me, it was this YouTube channel to start, and I've started with nothing more than my phone and a tripod. And I do have my son edit using iMovie, but I am going to try to fiddle around with that and see how much of that I could do on my own using the voiceover capability on my phone. I'm not really sure because sometimes programs don't want to play nice with the voiceover. But you know, I decided a long time ago, when I learned what my life was likely to look like with blindness, that I was not going to allow it to keep me from doing anything other than what it demanded that I not be able to do, such as driving. Anything beyond that, I try to do as much as I can, as often as I can, probably sometimes too much. And you know, I don't know about you if you have a disability or anything, but sometimes I do stuff just to prove that I can. It's a learning process, but you know, I am learning that I don't have to prove, and if it's for anybody, it's just for myself, you know, to know that I can do something that I set my mind to do. So I want to encourage you guys to do the same. You know, take the DIS out of disability and make it your ability journey, you know, and really seeking to discover the things that you can do, even though you might be feeling some fear to do it. I encourage you to give it a try safely, and you know, to learn as much about it as you can first, and the ways that you might have to figure out how to do it more efficiently for you. But I want to encourage you to do it because for me, and I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I'm involved with, not as a bragging right of any kind whatsoever, but it's more of a list of examples. I have my blog that I write on twice a week. I have my YouTube channel now. I have all the social media accounts except for Pinterest, because that one just doesn't make sense for a blind person. It just, because it's so visual, that one just doesn't, I don't want to do something that doesn't make sense for my disability just to do it, you know. So I don't have that one, but you know, between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, I don't really use my Twitter all that much, but the blog, I am working on a book. I have a writing and speaking conference at the end of July that I'm attending, that I'm hoping I can pitch my book idea to a publisher there. It's actually a virtual one, so it won't be in person, but it'll be online. I am the prayer ministry leader at my church. I was involved with women's ministry, but decided to pull back from that to put more focus on the prayer ministry and on my writing. I do a lot of Bible studies and book clubs, and that I lead. And you know, it's not about look what I'm doing, look what I can do. It's more about an encouragement to say that you don't have to let things be intimidating, you know, to just go ahead and go for it and see where your strengths are, and make that part of your journey, is to learning about yourself, about where your strengths are. And I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place, but as these thoughts are coming in my mind, you know, again, it was in high school, it was like whatever I could do, I would do. And then what I couldn't do, I tended to really shut it away, though. That was the one thing that I would just like stay away from it altogether. And I probably missed out on some experiences that would have been fun, or, you know, whatever to do, because I just didn't know how I was going to handle it. But I think that's normal. You know, I mean, we can sometimes tend to let the intimidation take over, but like I said, as I've gotten older, I've really been trying to lay those things aside, and with God's leading, trying to be involved in as much as I can without burning the candle at both ends. So I hope that this was an encouragement for you somehow, that you feel a little bit more strengthened and empowered to, at the very least, do a little self-searching and see what your strengths are and what you have a passion to do, and seeing how you can go about making it happen, you know. And it might take a little bit more work and a little bit more effort, but it's going to be worth it. I promise. Once you realize that you can do it, it's going to be worth it. You're going to be so glad that you did. And you know, as I continue this YouTube journey, I kind of forgot about my drink that I had over here. As I continue this YouTube journey, it's going to be a lot of self-discovery of what I'm able to do, and what I need help doing, and you know, it'll be a lot of self-discovery here as well. So I hope this was an encouragement, and I hope this was somehow a help to you. Leave me a comment. You know, let me know. I usually don't have coffee in the middle of the day, but It just sounded so good. But anyways, leave me a comment. Let me know what some of your struggles might be, what you feel fear in doing. And let's just see if we can, have a little discussion about it in the comment section. And maybe we can encourage one another, encourage each other in the comments, and help each other along this life's journey, whatever that may look like for each one of us. So I thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on Wednesday for a DIY, and it is for a kind of a get well pick-me-up basket. So I hope that you will join me for that. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Grow this community with me. I want to do this in conjunction with everybody else here that watches my videos. I value you. I really do value your thoughts and feedback. So again, go ahead and leave me a comment, and let's just keep growing this family together and encourage one another. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell too, so that you can be notified every time I upload. And also give this video a thumbs up. That also helps to grow this community. And share this. And let's just link arms in this, because there's so much going on in our world right now. I think it's time to really start linking arms and joining together for some encouragement. We've had quite a bit of discouragement and hard things going on lately, so let's get some pick-me-up going here. And so yeah, I will see you on Wednesday for the next video. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. My love to all of you, and just remember that even though we didn't create anything today, that there is only one creator. We'll see you on Wednesday.